taking advantage of the easing of restrictions by the UK government and the fact that it's now okay to spend longer periods out of doors. For us, nothing much will change, and we'll continue to stay in touch with family and friends via phone and FaceTime. I've come here to one of my local reserves, Titchmarsh, and on leaving the car park, I watch this male blackbird with white marks in his plumage as he busily searches for food, probably for a nestful of chicks somewhere nearby. As I cross the bridge into the reserve, I hear a bird singing. It's a whitethroat, my first whitethroat of the year. I head through the gate into the buttercup meadow, and there isn't a cloud in the sky. Like in many nature reserves, sheep and cattle are used to help manage the habitat, and here's a cow grazing among cowslips. There's not much bird life to be seen on the meadow apart from this grey lag goose displaying to his mate. It's a beautiful spring morning, and it does the mind and body good to be out and about again, with the sunlight glistening on the waters. As I cross the meadow, I see sand martins on the wing, busily catching flies. I stand on the banks of the brook that flows into the River Nen a little further down, in the vain hope of spotting an otter. They are here on the reserve, but I've never been lucky enough to see one, so I pause for a while and enjoy the heady sweet scent of hawthorn blossom. A little further downstream I hear a cuckoo, my first for this year. And then there they are, flying in front of the distant trees, a pair of them, and then one settles momentarily in the tree before flying off. Looking out over Old Winkle Lake, I see grey heron, and a little further out on the island, nesting common tern, and a male reed bunting shows well in the reeds at the edge of the water. And also further out on the water, I watch a pair of great-crested grebe, and on the pond too, are nesting black-headed gulls. I reach the freshly mown path that runs along the side of the River Nen, and the air is filled with birdsong. In among the trees of Heronry Wood, I can hear wren, robin, chaffinch, and the elusive blackcap. I've been scouring the tops of trees and bushes, trying to find one to film, but unfortunately today, none are showing. As I film this Canada goose on the far side of the river, I hear the familiar sound of a chiff-chaff. Moving on, I pass more hawthorn blossom and dog rose, and then a little further on, this male banded demoiselle. The chiff-chaff I heard earlier had the familiar chiff-chaff song, but the chiff-chaff calling in this tree seems to have a different variation of the normal song. It sounds like there's a couple of extra notes in there. I eventually locate the bird way up in the top of the tree. I move on and a few clouds start to bubble up, but it's still a glorious day. back over Old Winkle Lake in the opposite direction, and there's not much bird life to be seen, just a few gulls that skim the surface of the water. I decide that my next port of call is going to be the South Hyde, and on the way I see swifts on the wing. The South Hyde looks out over Reedbeds, which seem fairly quiet. I can hear reed and sedge warbler, but none are showing, preferring to remain hidden. But once again, this male reed bunting is much more obliging. I move on and take the Nen Way back in the direction of the car park. All around is the busy chatter of sedge warbler. Every now and then one will leave cover and fly up into the air, or move momentarily to the top of a bush. I've filmed them plenty of times in the past, but none are cooperating today. As I pass the trout fishing lake, the next bird I see is this goldfinch. And out on the lake itself, another pair of grey-crested grebe. I move on past grazing sheep with now well-grown spring lambs. The sun for now seems to have disappeared and it's a little more overcast. I watch a small flock of grey lag geese whose attention seems to be drawn to something on the far side of the brook that runs adjacent to the fishing lake. I reach the boardwalk and decide to check out one more hide, the Peter Scott Hyde, which also looks out over Reedbed. I can hear reed warbler here too, and sedge warbler, but unfortunately once again none are showing. All that's on view from here at the moment is yellow flag iris. On leaving the Peter Scott Hyde, I think I hear the familiar call of an oyster catcher, and indeed, there it is, out in the arable field, feeding among the Canada geese. And that's almost it from Titchmarsh. I'll leave you with this shot of this beautiful red kite that I managed to film in a distant tree as I was walking back to the car park. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you again soon.